Okay, so welcome everybody. Yes, this is March. It's supposed to be windy March, which we got that. However, it's the third Wednesday. We are back together for the iBug Android Insight community. I've changed the name. I like community. So, I want to welcome everybody. So we know where we're at. We on the Android platform where we talk about everything Android, whether it's your smartphone, your tablet, and that's Android tablet, Fire tablet, whether it's your Google Chrome or your Pixel or even your Samsung or your Motorola, whatever brand of phone you have, you are in the right place. Place. We even talk about our favorite little Lady A devices, whether it's the Fire TV or it's your Dot, your Pop, your Echo Show, or even your Google devices, whether it's that little home, it could even be your Google Chromecast. We're here to educate, communicate, and encourage our Android community. So I want to say welcome again. I am Ava Caruth. I am your Zoom host or facilitator out of Houston, Texas. And my co-facilitator.
Good evening, everybody. This is Hershey. I'm coming out of Central Florida. Welcome to everybody, and thank you so much for joining us on this month's of iBug Android Insight.
Let's not forget our
Julie.
back behind the scene. Come on.
Hi, Julie. Coming from Houston. Welcome.
I swear, Julie getting fast on that little finger and putting me as co-host. Y'all welcome tonight. As I say, it's the third Wednesday of March. Look how fast this time is going. Well, let's do a little housekeeping. Y'all know what Friday night is. It is our iBug movie night. And our movie for this Friday is The African Queen, 1951 version. So y'all know the movie starts at 8. You can chime in by 7:15 for the social hour before the movie. And I remember seeing that movie when I was in college. Ooh, that was a fun time. Long movie, but it was fun. Yeah, Hershey, why don't you tell them how they can get more information about iBug?
Sure thing. So if you are on YouTube, if you type in iBug Today in the search, it says go to channel, and then under the playlist, if you look for iBug Android Insight, you can find all of the episodes that we've gone through. And if you also want to get onto the mailing list, send a blank email to iBug, IBUG, Android, ANDROID, Insight, INSIGHT, the plus sign. Subscribe at groups.io. So iBug Android Insight plus subscribe at groups.io. Send a blank email and we'll get you on a mailing list. So if you want to interact with us or ask questions, you're more than welcome to do that with that mailing list. And then, of course, we have the ibugtoday.org website. All right, Ava, so do you think you want to get ready to figure out who's up in this meeting? I'm hearing some new names pop in and ready to get introductions on the road.
Yeah, let's see who's here tonight. Y'all, when you introduce yourself, please let us know who you are, where you're from, what type of devices you have, and if this is your first time to the call. So let's open up the floor, the mics for everybody to chime in.
let us know who you are and where you're coming in from. And
My name's Jim from
Hey, Jim.
Missouri. I have a cell phone, Android, Samsung 25, yes it is. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and hopefully, if you have any questions or such, hopefully we'll be able to answer them. But thank you so much for coming.
I guess I'll go.
Go ahead.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Quentin here in Houston. I have an S25 Ultra from Samsung, Pixel 8, got a Pixel 7 Pro somewhere, my Z Fold 5 somewhere. Somewhere? Somewhere.
What?
Well, the film is
over?
coming off. Yeah, the film's coming off. I was using it the other day, and then it just started wigging out. So I have to figure that out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll figure out what does wigging out mean. Quentin will explain just in a bit.
Wigging out is when the screen just starts moving on its own, doing it, selecting apps and everything, just because of the pressure.
I have a Pixel 6 Pro that is suffering such.
Yeah, I think I opened it a little too hard, maybe, or something, or tried to move since it has the crease. But yeah, it's got it weird. But anyway, let me continue.
Go ahead.
I have some Lady A's all over the place. Have tablets, both Amazon and Samsung. Other smart home devices. So, welcome everybody.
And thank you, Quentin. I know you have all those plethora of devices, but you're always tinkering and trying, and a value source of information. So thank you so much for joining us again, and missed you a couple of months there. Welcome back.
Yeah.
We all got real busy lives. It's no worries, but we always enjoy when you're out here. So thank you so much for just popping up.
Yeah,
Who else wants to introduce themselves, please, and let us know where you're coming in from?
This is Jim.
Excuse me. All right. This is Foster. I'm from Houston as well. Kind of like Quentin. I'm all teched out. Lady A devices, Android, Lenovo Android gaming tablet, TCL, Google TV. Just got that Google Stream Hershey a few months ago. Loving that.
Interesting.
And then just picked up a refurbished Razer Ultra 2025.
I have
See
a
what
little
that's all about.
quick news story about that. Coming soon.
Foster,
soon.
All right.
Foster's gonna let me borrow that right? I'm just saying.
This is how, when you come to the
Closed
show,
mouth don't get fed, right?
when you come to the iBug Android Insight call, this is it. Everybody becomes so friendly with each other, and we're a family here. So for anyone that's new, please hang in there. We're just kind of going through introductions. So if anybody else wants to let us know who you are, where you're coming in from, please.
Hello, this is Jim. I'm
Hey, Jim.
Fort Collins, Colorado.
Awesome. Welcome.
I'm using a Google 6 phone, and I got a couple of Kindle Fires and an Echo device.
Fantastic.
My biggest concern right now is my Google Pixel 6. I'd like to get screen reader working better than whatever the default is. So we'll talk about that later.
Sure thing. Well, thank you. You're sparking up some ideas there. Thank you for joining us this evening, and keep that question up early. Well, after this introduction, we could jump right into that. So thank you. Anybody else want to introduce themselves, please? I thought I heard Kevin and others.
This is Kenny from Missouri. I have a Samsung Galaxy Alpha 25, a bunch of A devices, Google Home, and liking Gemini.
Fantastic. And Kenny, you also you walk around these streets of iBug today as well, right? Would I be mistaken?
Yes.
Yeah. Where can they find you if they ever wanted to know where Kenny's hanging out at in the iBug streets?
I'm from Missouri.
Missouri, and then do you do the Trekkie Talk a lot, I think?
Yep. Trekkie Talk is tomorrow starting 7 Central, and we're discussing a couple of Star Trek Voyager episodes.
Awesome. So, if you all are interested in other events that are happening at iBug, someone like Kenny, and you might hear a couple other people a little later, we're all just, part of this big family, and thank you so much, Kenny, for joining. All right. Anybody else want to introduce himself, please?
Hey, this is Juan Medina. I'm also from Houston. Foster, hello. I know Foster. I'm here in Houston as well. This is my first time on this particular call. I'm like, let me see what this is all about. I don't have Android anything. I'm iPhone all the way, but I would like to learn more about Androids. Because people have asked me before, how do you do Android stuff? I'm like, I don't know. I only know iPhone. So I would like to learn more about Androids, and I have Alexa everything.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we'll get some information for you. At least, we all have, let's say, for example, voiceover needs. So voiceover is nothing more than TalkBack on the Android side. So pick your words that you like, but we'll get to learn some more, and we heard some people with questions already. So thank you so much for joining this meeting, and thank you for coming.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So anybody else wants to introduce themselves? Kevin, have I heard you like 5 times and just like everybody just jumps over you? No? Okay. Anybody else want to introduce themselves and let us know where you're coming in from, please?
This is John.
Hey, John from BC, Canada.
Yeah.
Okay, I remembered his voice.
Thank you. Yes, this is John from BC, Canada. I have a Pixel 9a and a Lady A speaker and a Google speaker. And just glad to be here.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. And maybe you could give us a report on how the 9A is treating you these days. But thank you so much for joining us. And anybody else wants to let us know where you're coming in from, introduce themselves, and perhaps what kind of phone do you have?
This is Janice from Maryland.
Hey, Janice, how you been?
Hey,
welcome back.
Okay. I have a Galaxy Z Fold 5 and multiple Echo devices.
See, gentlemen, she didn't walk away from her Fold. Just saying. But welcome back, and I always remembered that you had the Fold, and like I said, Quentin, he's put his away because it kind of fell apart. So we'll talk more. But welcome back. Anybody else wants to introduce himself and let us know where you're coming in from?
Hi, it's Mark from London, Ontario, Canada.
Hey, Mark, welcome. Is this your first time on the call, or have you been?
No, I've been on a few calls here and there over the last little bit. Not regular, just because busy life here and there. But I've got Pixel 8a and Google Home and Google Nest speakers, mini speakers, and some Chromecast.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming back and joining us. And again, for everybody that's new and old and in between, we have, it seems like a lot of wealth of information between the Amazon, the Google, and even iOS. So thank you so much. If anybody else wants to introduce themselves, please feel right at home.
Hi, this is Sri from Virginia.
Hey, Sri. And another member, as I said, I was waiting for his voice, but another member of the iBug family. So, Sri, could you let our members know, where do you come from? What streets do you hang out at?
Sure. So I facilitate 2 programs at iBug today. I'm the facilitator for the iBug Cafe. That's where we take an in-depth look at an iOS iPhone. I also facilitate or coordinate the Jumpstart program, where we do a one-on-one class for those who are new to their iPhones.
Fantastic. You know what? We might have to collaborate one of these days and, get more people in the cafe, a little bit of Android and a little bit of that, a little bit of this. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll talk.
I'm always looking for something. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Anybody else?
This is Dale from Cleveland.
Hey, Dale. Welcome back. How you been?
Good, Hershey. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. So what kind of devices are we working with these days?
Let's see. On my phone, I'm got an S23 Plus. I have a couple Echo Dot devices. I have an LG TV, a smart TV that uses WebOS. I have a smart oven, it's an LG oven. I haven't hooked up my phone yet to that, so I still need to do that.
Well, thank you for bringing that up. Smart ovens and different devices, because that is definitely important pieces of having a smart home and your Android phones working either with the apps or with Google Home. So thank you for bringing that up to my ears and eyes. And anybody else want to introduce themselves before we, I guess, jump into questions? All right. I guess I'm not hearing too much. So I would say the stage is open to you all. And if you want to let us know, what is your question? Or thought or concern, either or.
This is Sri.
Go ahead, Sri.
So I have a question about the A devices. We recently had a power outage, and all my A devices went on strike. Now when my Ring doorbell rings, none of them communicate, letting me know that somebody's at the door. So I'm trying to figure out what would cause that, or do I have to disable or enable the routine, or what my steps are.
Thank you, Sri. And Miss Amazon Lady, have you experienced anything? And if anyone else that has any A devices experienced anything similar?
So this is Foster.
Go ahead, Foster.
So it knocks all your Amazon devices out?
This is Sri.
Go ahead.
Yeah, all 9 of them went on strike.
Oh, Jesus. That's insane. And when you look at the app, does it still show that they're like connected to the doorbell?
This is Sri.
Go ahead, Sri.
So, Foster, for some reason, and I'm hoping it works well on the Android world, but on the iPhone world, the app is lost some of its accessibility features, so it's hard for me to find what I'm looking for. I kind of have to, kind of take a swipe at it with turning voiceover off to see if I get into the area and then turn it back on. But I have not kind of played with anything because I couldn't tell if this was a routine issue or just something got disrupted.
That's that's insane. And you said it was a Ring doorbell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else? Go ahead, Foster.
I was just wondering, have you tried maybe taking off the Ring app and then reloading it? Or I'm not sure. That was a tricky one.
This is Sri.
Go on.
I have not done anything except, I was contemplating calling Amazon to see if they suggest something. I suspect they probably just said, disable and re-enable the routine skills, but everything else seems to have been working except that aspect of it's not working.
Sri, have you asked Chat GPT or Gemini?
No, I'm old-fashioned, so I try to use my brain instead of.
This is Kenny.
Go ahead, Kenny.
What exactly are your echoes with your Ring not doing that they were doing before?
They would, when somebody rings the doorbell, it will say someone is at the door.
Uh-huh.
Now, people ring at the doorbell. I have no idea if anybody at the doorbell because I don't hear it.
Okay. Do you happen to have the AI version of the?
Nope.
Okay. And you don't have your stuff on Do Not Disturb?
Nope. If I do, like I said, it went on strike, so it might be on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, because I noticed if I have mine on Do Not Disturb, it will not say, "Hey, someone's at the door." And when I turn it off, Do Not Disturb, it works.
Would a power outage generate a Do Not Disturb automatically?
No, I just ask the device if it's. To quickly check it, I just tell it to turn Do Not Disturb off, and then it'll either say Do Not Disturb is already off, or it'll make a noise and say Do Not Disturb is off.
Okay, I'll try that. Thank you.
This is Foster again.
Go ahead, Foster.
Yeah, the power outage may not that could have triggered the Do Not Disturb. That is a possibility. Not to say that'll happen all the time, but that could be a possibility, though.
Okay.
This is Hershey. Shri, that what do you call it? The Ring doorbell. This is all wired?
This is Shri.
Go ahead.
Yeah, mine is a wired doorbell.
And because I'm just trying to kind of go back up from when, all this stuff, you basically lost power, for example, and there's a longer period of power outage, essentially. It wasn't like a lightning strike or something like that.
No. It's just, we had a power outage for a few hours, then the power came back on, and the next thing I noticed is people ringing the doorbell, and they said, are you home? And I said, yeah. I said, I don't hear my Echo device going off.
What I would do in this case is probably reverse engineer. So taking off the Ring off your account, or because the Ring is the doorbell, correct?
Yeah,
it's the piece that normally functions as it ringing your house. Of course, the Do Not Disturb part is a quick way to check those. Power cycling your devices also is going to be a good idea. That way you are aware of what's aware of what's going on, so to speak, right? Because power cycling could help you, but this could be either any kind of firmware or software got glitched and therefore it's not talking to each other. That's why it's just easier to probably go backwards, remove the doorbell, put the doorbell back on, and then see if it's not a hardware issue. Because it could be very well a hardware issue if there's a power surge. So that's just a couple ways to at least, I'm not saying your speakers have any issues, but your doorbell could have an issue. So.
Great, thank you guys.
Who is that? I heard somebody's voice. Go ahead. I thought I heard somebody's trying to get in.
This is Brooke, and then there was someone else I didn't catch.
Yeah, I thought I heard your voice. Go ahead, Brooke. You had a solution or answer?
I was just going to say I like to start simple because I hate adding stuff if I don't have to. So I would recommend clearing the cache and data just from the Alexa app, I guess, and then do a power cycle on the Alexa device by just making sure you unplug it for like at least 30 seconds and do a reset. Just plug it in. And then after that, you would probably want to disable the skill for the notification, as annoying as it is, and then just re-enable it. Then see if all of that fixes it before you actually remove it entirely from your account, just because it's so annoying to re-add. That's what I would do.
Thank you so much, Brooke. And that's just beautiful advice right there. Shri, hopefully some of that will help you. And I heard somebody else's voice. Go ahead. Oh.
No, it was just me. I was just going to say really quick that I had forgotten to mention that I had some weird stuff happen with my Nest device after a storm, actually. And I don't even remember if there was a power outage, but after a pretty good storm about a year ago, it pretty much stopped functioning. It would just sort of stream when it felt like it. And then someday, I don't know, one day, it just seems to have fixed itself. So now I get doorbell notifications and it streams now. And so it just fixed itself. So I don't know.
Bad software, bad
the
something.
experience I have. Yeah, but it's not a Ring, but similar experience. Anyway, there you go.
Thank you. Thank you, Brooke. All right, Sheree, hopefully that will help you there to at least get something sorted or started off at. And anybody else want to ask their question, thought? The stage is yours.
Hi, this is Danny Mandrell again. Hey, I've been here before. I got a Samsung 9A Plus. I was wondering about remote controlling other Android devices because I was trying to help someone out and I was trying to find an app you can do that with Android. I was looking at TeamViewer and I couldn't figure that out because I think on the remote side there's no search fields or anything. So how does these remote things work?
Okay. Anybody have any solutions there to potentially have a couple Android devices that you could give remote assistance to, like a family member or something? Any solutions out there?
Now I know how quick support works but
on Windows, yes.
Yeah, and I know, and I've seen the Android version of it.
And interestingly enough, like, okay, for example, Zoom has certain features, but I don't recall. I remember seeing it on the phone side. I know that's on the remote, on the desktop app. You could, have somebody help you to connect.
Yeah, but I know they have. I've seen them both because I was looking the other day for an app, and it has remote. It has remote help, and then there's quick support.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm unaware right now off the top of my head of a accessible solution that will offer something that you're looking for here, unfortunately. Maybe during the call, if someone else comes up with a thought, we'll
all right.
Share.
That'll be fine.
Thank you so much.
Let me know because
like I said, Zoom.
I can navigate the app, the quick support. I can, I tried it and put it on there to see what it does, and it gives their identification number. But on remote help, there's no search fields, edit fields. There's connection. There's connections and all the other things, but there's nowhere to enter numbers or anything like that.
I mean, I know that there are applications and pieces of software called like Splashtop or Parsec, but I have no idea as far as accessibility on a device or trial and error of it. Yeah. So those are the two that
but if anyone happens to,
definitely will let you know. But thank you for your question.
This is John.
Go ahead, John.
So if it's completely wrong, just ignore it. I used Gemini, but Gemini did recommend TeamViewer support, but I think it also said something like it'd be good to enable the permissions for the accessibility permissions. I don't know if that makes any sense. So
it does.
I don't know if maybe that's a missing part of it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I mean, Gemini, like I said, these AIs and stuff are definitely useful. So thank you, John, for looking that up through Gemini. And TeamViewer as an app or as a piece of software does work. And in addition, that there is a piece where it says turn on for accessibility that will enable information to flow through TalkBack. And so...
Well, that part works, but it's just when I was looking at the app, itself, there's just not much there. There's a bunch of tabs and things, but there's no edit fields or.
And John, did you specify to your Gemini that you needed it for accessibility reasons and stuff?
This is John.
Go ahead, John.
I can't remember the exact phrasing, but maybe I'll go on mute and play around with it.
All right.
Okay. Well, what I wanted to kind of allude to there with Gemini, I've let Gemini know of my vision loss, and I use JAWS, let's say on Windows or Fusion and what have you, and then TalkBack on Android. So most of the time when it's giving me answers, it is trying to give me answers that are more copacetic to my needs. So, tab this many times, hit this keystroke, and so on and so forth. So it is really useful to kind of talk it out with your assistant, aka Gemini now. It is really, really useful. And what's good about it, in my opinion, is say you're on phone A and then you go to your tablet and then you go on your desktop. Well, you could go to your little tab up there, your sidebar tab, and you could pull up that same conversation that you were just having on your phone with. So you could type instead of, let's say, speak by holding down your button or something on the phone. So it is really useful that way to get work done and just make things work a little easier for you. So that's a quick tip there. All right. And you know what, Foster, you had mentioned something at the beginning of the call that I wanted to give you a quick tip on. Do you recall what that was? You introduced yourself with something and some new devices?
What was it? Oh, about the Razor?
Yes. So Motorola right now is actually winning in the foldable industry. So they're actually number one in the foldables. They beat Samsung as well. So
the flips.
Because of the flips.
Yeah. They classify them different. So as far as flips,
right?
As the flip, okay.
So they're actually winning because we always talk about on this call mainly, Pixel, Samsung. People don't get to hear something like Motorola often enough, and they're actually winning the game of foldables. So
is that is that because of the overseas market?
Actually, the North American market is our largest market.
Oh, really? Wow.
The European market, I heard it was, I think, 20%. And then, no, actually, I think Asian market was 20%, is about 30% for European market. So quite interesting facts, but to say that what is accessible and what isn't. Earlier, we heard Brooke answer that question, and I remember getting on my Samsung Galaxy S2, and I was a low vision user at that point, so not much usage of TalkBack. But matter of fact, Foster, would you explain how does select to speak work if someone is trying to get a little bit more speech, since you are in between low vision and for people that use screen readers?
So select to speak is kind of like on iPhone, if you ever used what is that feature?
Speak It or not? Dang it.
Yeah, it's like Speak It. I think that's what they call it.
Okay.
And basically, like with Speak It, you can like program it where you just slide 2 fingers from the top and it'll just start reading the page. Or you can, there's one or two other ways you can control it. But on Android, select to speak, which now when you set it up, it actually appears you can set it to appear in your control panel, so that when you swipe down, you hit select to speak. And then if you tap on if it's text, if it's readable text, I'm gonna put it like that, it'll go ahead and read from where you tap the screen at until it comes to a page break or a period or something like that. If it's not able to read it, it'll say no text found at that location. So it's kind of like instead of having to turn talk back on, It's kind of like a quick way to read stuff on your screen. But I don't know when the last time they updated it because it's not working as well as it used to. So
Gotcha.
the other feature that I've been using is Read Aloud,
which is a separate app that you would download from the Play Store.
Yeah, well, it's actually all under the accessibility suite.
Oh, okay, so it is. So when you download the Android accessibility suites, which is already pre-installed on Pixel phones and most phones.
Right, but if it's not installed on your phone, your Android phone or your Android tablet, if you go into the Play Store and download the accessibility suite, it will automatically add whichever features you don't have. So if you don't have magnifier, it'll download that for you. If you don't have select to speak, it'll put that in your system for you, and it'll also do read aloud. So read aloud is similar to I would say like, have you used read aloud on Microsoft Word? It's kind of similar to that, but it'll pretty much I use that to read emails and web, and definitely works on web pages. So it works a little better than select to speak.
2 questions.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Janice.
So regarding select to speak, I use it a lot. And what I've found recently over the past few months, that after I hit my accessibility button and what I want it to read, it might read for a while, then it kind of buffers for a while, and then it goes on. So, it's not smooth and going through everything. And what I've found I have to do is restart my phone, and I guess it clears the cache or something. I don't know. And then it'll read, all the way through, and it won't, pause, for a few seconds before it goes on. Have you experienced anything like that?
Kind of. But you're on the Galaxy?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm on the Pixel 7 Pro, so I don't know if it doesn't work as well because I have an older model Pixel. But another app that you can use if you're low vision and you don't want to just fully dive into TalkBack is called @Voice Reader. You can use that, and basically
Voice Reader.
Actually, it's the @ symbol. It's @Voice Reader. Like, you type the symbol, voice, and then the word reader, and it'll come up. And basically, if you copy any type of text, you can paste it or share it to @Voice Reader, and @Voice Reader will read it for you.
Oh, okay.
That one's free. And then I don't know if you guys heard of Speech Central. That's available on Android, iPhone, and Windows, but they charge a fee for like the premium version. But it kind of works like @Voice too, but I like the @Voice Reader better.
Fantastic.
Okay, and then my second question was back to when you mentioned read aloud. You said that's in the accessibility suite?
Yep.
And so how do you activate it? How do you read it? How do you use it, rather?
So are you using that shortcut, the accessibility shortcut?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so you
to speak.
Right. So, like, on one of my devices, I have my accessibility shortcuts got 5 different things on it. It's got the magnifier. It's got select to speak. It's got read aloud. It's got the accessibility function, and I forgot what the other one is. But if you go into your accessibility features, you should see read aloud in there. If not, download it from the Play Store, and then you can go into your system settings, accessibility settings, and you can add it to your shortcuts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you both. All right. And, earlier in the call, we were going to talk about someone mentioned that they had the Pixel 6 and TalkBack. Was that Jim that I heard from Colorado, if I wasn't mistaken? Anybody had that question or want to dive into maybe how we could help you better to understand TalkBack?
Well, let me tell you what I've got, and
sure.
I'm not absolutely for sure since my vision is so low. It looks like a microphone,
mm-hmm.
and when you touch it,
mm-hmm.
it brings up something on the bottom of the screen, and it says to read your screen, touch the arrow, and I do that, and like somebody was mentioning earlier, it not only reads what you want, but it reads a whole bunch of stuff you don't want. For instance, if I wanted to read an email, it'll read all of my emails that I have saved on the side of my screen, for 10 minutes or so, and then it'll finally get to email. And I mean, it's basically useless because it's reading a whole bunch of junk that I don't want. So besides the @voice reader, what else is out there that's free that I could try?
Okay. So let's kind of back up a couple steps just to put everything in perspective for everybody on the table. What we just talked about earlier in the previous question with Foster was select to speak and then voice reader was it voice reader? At something. But anyway, we talked about those 3 different tools. Those tools are really useful for the person that is low vision, I would say. However, people that may have no sight, and also once you get used to using a screen reader, completely using a screen reader, the screen reader that you'll find on your phone will be TalkBack. So turning on TalkBack does speak a lot. So it's not going to cure your problem for this phone talks a lot now. However, you have control with TalkBack. So, for example, if you put 2 fingers on the screen, it pauses. Just laying 2 fingers on the screen. There is a way of, interacting with it by gestures. So either 1, 2, 3, 4. Think about it that way. So either you have 1 finger gestures, 2 finger gestures, 3 finger gestures, or 4. How am I going to ever remember all of that? Well, the way to remember it is take it for what it works for you. Take it backwards. If 4 fingers works for you, tap with 4 fingers on the screen. What happens? Tap twice with 4 fingers on the screen. What happens? Tap 3 times. Tap 4 times. You'll start building that pattern. But actually, if you tap with 4 fingers twice on your screen, you'll get a tutorial that pops up. If you tap on the screen with 4 fingers once, you'll get, I'll take that back. You get a scratch pad with 2 taps, 4 fingers, tap on the screen twice. With 1 tap, you get a tutorial. So you will know how to use the screen reader, essentially. And it's all about practice. Practice is always going to help in any of these cases, because for myself, I have MS and I have blindness, but I know that the gestures are easier for me to take 1 finger, swipe up and to the left. For me personally, that's play pause, because I could just do it with 1 finger. I take swipe left and then down as I want to turn the speech off and on TalkBack. So I'm going to demonstrate really, really quick just by having the phone. So let's see.
Spotify. Spoken feedback is off.
Okay, you heard spoken feedback is off. Now my TalkBack is still on my phone. It's not disturbing us, right? So there are ways to gain control of your device, but that's the part that we have to do ourselves is allow ourselves to learn. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be hard. It depends on you. It might be super easy if you just have an open mind to it. So using Select to Speak, using all these other tools, wonderful tools. If it works for you, use them. If you're finding yourself, well, my vision is deteriorating, but I want to make sure that I'm able to read this email or that email and find out what in the world is iBug doing next week? What movie? What blah, blah, blah. You're able to use TalkBack, but only one step I could say is start using the tutorials, and I'm going to open up the stage if anybody else has any other feedback on what's the easier way or how they have trained people to use TalkBack. So if anybody out there wants to share, how would you go about it?
This is Quentin.
Go ahead, Quentin.
All right, so I'll try to keep it short.
No, carry on.
So just quick backstory. I had sight, lost sight, or most of it. Started using Select to Speak. That was my go-to. Magnification, Select to Speak. Then as time went, which I'm sure you've probably come to when you have to read a lot of stuff, reading your emails, reading posts, Select to Speak is great, but then you're always having to use it. You're always having to activate it. So that's how I ended up going with TalkBack. And like Hershey said, it works for you. It works how you need it to work. You don't need to try to learn all the gestures. Even I don't know all the gestures. I just use the ones that I need for what I need to do. I still ask people like, hey, how do you cut? I still ask
use
that.
Scissors. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Well, cut your finger off, or at least I would. But the tutorial was great. Hands down. You literally could just open the tutorial and just whatever with however many fingers, and it tells you what it's going to do unless it's an open gesture. And that kind of opens it too with open gestures, because then you can change it up however you want. If you want to just double tap to do something, most things you can switch it to. Now there are some things you can't. I think it's phone specific. I'm not 100%. I know all of you would know, but most of the gestures you can kind of change or reassign.
Correct. And they will let you know in the customized gestures section. I know we're kind of going over people's heads on the beginning of this, but it'll literally say this gesture cannot be customized or cannot customize. So it's your choice.
But like you said, it's how you want or need to use it, and you can take it a little bit at a time. I will tell you, at least Samsung is the up and down arrow, turn on, turn off, or if you have them in the little guy at the bottom right, whichever way you prefer. Get used to it, get used to doing it, get used to using it, because in the beginning you're probably gonna, it's doing too much, I gotta turn it off. And don't feel bad with doing it if you have to do that. If it's too much or overwhelming, turn it off. Take a minute, go back to what you know, use those tools, come back to it, try it again. And the more you do it, the more you use it, the more you learn with it. It gets a lot easier. The other thing is knowing for you when you want or need to use it and when you just kind of don't really need it. I mean, if you kind of go back and forth, you have a little vision, you can kind of jump around and do whatever on your phone. Hey, that's great. But it will definitely alleviate eye strain, headaches, missing things. I've missed a lot of things trying to, keep hope alive with my vision. and TalkBack helps, and VoiceOver, if that's what you use. It helps catch those things you miss. And with those apps that aren't accessible that you're trying to use, and even though you can slightly see it, you're like, oh, okay, I'm trying to do this, and it's not working. I find TalkBack helps a lot. Even if it tells me there's just a button and it's not labeled, at least it tells me there's a button because I didn't see it and I didn't know it was there. So different elements that are there, it'll help point it out. And the image description is pretty awesome too. So
thank you, Quentin, very much. That does, everyone has a different viewpoint of accessibility because it just hits them differently. So I wanted to make sure we understood that. Go ahead, Jim.
Yes, I am someone who came into iBug a few years back, and amongst many of you know, if there's anybody new, yes, I can't see at all, period. So what's on the screen of my phone, and so as Quentin was talking about, if you have the eyesight, you're straining. With me, I don't have that choice. I if it's not talking, I don't know what's there. So it was a little overwhelming even for me because it was brand new. And what I found actually helped for me when I'm using that particular feature and it's on, I found for me, again, what was overwhelming is the speed ratio. It's like I'm taking in too much. What is this thing saying? It said a lot. I heard it, but wow, I can't move that quick. So what are you doing? And then iBug here with Android meetings told me you can slow the voice down. And once I slowed it down to the level I could really comprehend what it's saying, that helped tremendously to where, oh, I touched that. I hit that app. That's what happened. And, Quentin said it does eliminate headaches, even though Lady Google can give you a headache after a while. And so I don't know when I became married to these women I met here with Alexa and here with Google, but yes, it is very hard, especially if you're just jumping into it. But iBug here is great to be a place to know that and to learn that. And it's overwhelming. It can be. And like Quentin said, there's sometimes I've ran into it to where it just stops talking. It just doesn't want to talk, and I'm hitting the screen. It just shuts off on me. What I found works, and it helps sometimes, is when it stops talking, I just hit the power button to turn the screen off, and then I hit the power button again, and it starts activating to say, unlock your device, so it starts over again. A second thing I've learned that kind of helps, if it stops talking and it's not wanting to do anything, go to the volume up, down, hold them, and turn it off, and you'll hear the tone. It will not tell you it was turned off. You'll just hear the tone. And then push it again, and you'll hear the tone, and then it will tell you that it's reactivated, it's turned back on. But yes, it is the gesture parts. I don't know all the gestures. I just use simple double tapping on the app to open it, double tapping to delete, or double tapping hold to move something. And the only other gestures I do have is the 2-finger up for calls, or 2 fingers down for any notifications. But it is something that is great to have, and it does alleviate a lot of stress. And right here, iBug will eliminate a lot of that stress too by just asking the questions of how you do it.
Thank you there. I think that was Rich.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for your input. And yes, it's a journey as it is. I would say the tutorials are definitely going to be a helper, and ask all the questions that you have. That's the best way that we could, help. I don't get this. It's okay, because we don't sometimes get something the first time we try it either. So I hope it gets you a start at least. And if anyone else has a thought or question, go ahead. Anybody else have a question or a thought? Or if, Jim, if you want us to clarify anything, please feel free to come back in. And Kevin, I haven't heard from you this evening. What do you call it as far as any tips from you learning TalkBack? If you're around, that is. I thought I saw you in the meeting. All right. I guess
not at home yet. I'm on a noisy bus. So.
No problem, Kevin. Thank you so much. Otherwise, Kevin would definitely let us know for sure. Anyhow, what I would want to say about TalkBack is, again, you have different voices you could use, meaning if you are partial to a male voice, then you could choose a male voice to speak. If you're partial to a woman's voice, then you could choose a voice as such. And at the end of the day, it's what you understand about the device or your phone or etc. All that kind of stuff. So, give you an example. I'm gonna try to hook up the phone once more. Let me unlock it here.
8:57 p.m. on UI Home.
And just to show you, I have between the voices, for example. So, I have the phone hooked up, and I'm gonna turn her up.
YT Music.
Okay, so if I were to hit with 4 fingers on the screen.
Practice gestures. Try any talkback gesture on this screen to hear what that gesture does. Tap the screen with 2 fingers. Keep practicing by tapping once, twice, or 3 times with 2, 3, or 4 fingers. You can also double tap and hold on UI Home. YT.
Whoa. What did all that say? Let's slow
Characters,
down.
Words, lines, paragraphs, headings, controls, links, windows, screen search, default, speech rate.
Okay, we heard speech rate. That's what I was looking for. I was using 3 fingers swiping down on the screen. So, tickling the screen.
Speech rate 200, speech rate 254%.
I'm using 1 finger swiping down on the screen now.
Speech rate 230, speech rate 210, speech rate 109, speech rate 173, speech rate 157%.
I like 157. We'll leave it right there. So, again, 4 fingers. Let's try double tapping on the screen.
TalkBack tutorial button, navigate up.
Okay, so once you heard the TalkBack something, now you heard TalkBack tutorial. Let's take 1 finger and swipe right.
TalkBack tutorial.
Okay, it read the title.
Swipe right to select a topic. For the best experience, turn on TalkBack before getting started.
Okay.
Basic navigation, move between items, scroll, use menus, and more. Text editing, type, select, edit, copy, and more.
So we talked about emails and trying to get things sent to different people, or, Ava sent me an email and I have to copy somebody else on it.
Reading navigation, read by word or character, and jump between links, controls or headings.
Very important on websites, because you could go on a website and navigate by headings. Now you're navigating a website just as easy as anybody else and much faster. So that'll definitely speed you up.
Voice commands, control TalkBack with your voice.
I actually do use this, voice commands. So what I do is on YouTube, in the description. So if I have a huge paragraph or, let's say 2,000, 3,000 word letters, characters, I could say, oh man, I made a mistake. I need to copy this over here and paste it over here. So what I'll do is I'll copy last spoken phrase of the article or whatever I'm trying to say in the description, for example. And then in the field of, let's say, an email field or description box or whatever is editable, right? Any field that will let you type a whole bunch of stuff in it. So in there, I'll paste, but I use the voice thingamabob or the voice commands. So let's
reading voice commands.
Yeah, voice
control
commands.
TalkBack.
So I use voice commands by saying select all, and then I'll hit the voice command gesture again, delete. Then I'll hit it again, paste. I just now use my voice to say 3 words, but I haven't had any touching of the screen to mess with any gestures. So, for example, Let me see if I remember.
Button, navigate up. Button, navigate up. Button, button, navigate up.
Okay, since I'm in a tutorial, it doesn't want to work, but let me see if I can get it to...
Voice commands, control talk back with your voice.
Okay, so I swiped right and then down. And that is to...
Find on screen, look for specific items on screen.
I could use it for searching.
Everyday tasks, learn how to make calls, send messages, and more. Media, practice gestures, try different gestures to learn what they do. Button, navigate up.
And I'm swiping right, and then when I hear navigate up, it pretty much lets me know that I'm at the top of a menu.
One UI home, YT
so,
music.
Example there. Hush phone. Okay, so like, okay, the phone, I'm on the meeting here. So how can I make it shut up or be quiet? Sorry, bad words.
Spoken feedback is off.
Right now, it's not going to yap away and bother us in the middle of the meeting. So having control of your device. How long did I take to learn all of that? Brooke, how long have I known you? I'm just kidding. Since 2012, 2013. It's not that we all learn overnight. I was a low vision person, and now I was like, wow, screen reader. Got to learn this thing. And you heard the speed of the speech earlier. The voice that I have particularly on the phone there works well for me. It's the Ava voice, if you ever use it on your Windows machine, or the Nuance Voices. But then on this other device that I have over here, it's been acting funky. Let's see if I could get it to say something.
Talk back on. System UI. Collapsed. Gmail. Bullet.
So you could kind of tell that the voice sounds a little different, and then TalkBack has been acting funny on this phone, so we'll put it away. Play with you later. So
this is Quinn.
Go ahead, Quentin.
No, on the speed and everything, don't get intimidated. It is intimidating when you hear other blind and visually impaired and their speech on their talkback or voiceover is alien to you. You'll get there just over time. Put it at a comfortable speed and just go with it. After a while, you'll notice, okay, this is a little slow for me. Why won't the voice just speed up? I mean, I'm trying to do something, and you'll pick it up really quick. I had that issue. And the voices, there are quite a few. It's all preference. And I know some people I've come across, they think they have to have the same voice on all devices or all their devices, and you don't. You can switch it up, have it however you want. So if you'll notice when you're at home, certain voices work great. When you're out in the wild, some of those voices don't work for you because you can't hear them or they don't project enough, even with volume. So you try to change it up or whatever. And yeah, don't feel bad doing it. Don't feel bad turning that volume up either. So you got to hear what your phone's doing.
That's Richard.
Go ahead.
And yes, the voices, you also don't have to put the voice in to your phone and activate it, or on your devices to activate it. They do have samples where you go into the settings of it and you can just hear a sample of it talking. So it's not like you have to now go into there and set it to your phone or set it to your device to hear what that voice sounds like. You can tap it and it says sample, I do believe, or it says hear sound, a voice, and you can hear which one it is. And they do have a lot. They do have men and women, and they have different language too of it's English, American, but for me, it's like Hershey said and Quentin said, it's the voices when you're out, sometimes they just don't work with the surrounding sound because it's blending in with the sound so you can't hear it, or it's just not picking up something. Me, it's all women. I'm not going to have no men telling me what to do. So mine is all women, but they all work. I got them set, and yes, and it's like Quinn said, don't be afraid to go in there and even test out those voices or give it a shot for a day or an hour and mess with the voice and see what it will do. And turning up the speech rate, which you saw Hershey do, that is where my first problem was. I had to turn that speech rate down because it's like, wow, are you kidding? I can't do that. I don't know what you just said. So, but it is something that really does work, especially when you have no eyesight like I do. It can be somewhat incredible. The gestures set them to where it's easy for you as well. And I just started messing with the gestures, what I mentioned before, where I wasn't into it like that. I heard Hershey and everybody here, and so I have started doing that, and now I have some gestures to where, wow, that is actually making things a lot easier because I want to go there, and I don't need to go through all of this to get there now. But give it a shot and try it, and come here to iBug, and it's don't be afraid to ask.
Thank you. Yes, indeed.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
This Quinn. Just for a lot of the low vision, on that spectrum, many think that, oh, I don't need that. That's just for, if you're totally blind and blah, blah, blah. And no, absolutely not. Even though you may have some vision, you put your phone about, 2 centimeters from your face and you do your thing. You already know you have eye strain. You already know it's difficult to do that when you're out in the wild. It's sunny and you're trying to do something on your phone. It's not even worth it. Your neck, your back, your head, you come to realize it's going to be too much. So at least learning TalkBack can give you an option when when you just don't feel like bringing your phone to your face like that. And old habits die hard. They do. But you'll find a lot of relief physically and mentally if you at least learn TalkBack. So.
This is Hershey. One other thing to add to the whole thing is if you have low vision, you have some vision still. Trust me, it's so much more easier to remember what it looked like because you're already there. So what I mean by that, someone had mentioned an email. You don't have to click above or near where to, let's say Quentin sent me at quentin@texas.com or whatever, sent me an email. I don't have to read that portion. I just need to say, hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. Are you bringing food with you today? ? Best Quentin. I could just read that first paragraph. Maybe I might have to swipe again to read best Quentin, but you know that you could kind of see 2 pieces of data and you just don't want to use your eye strain or strain your eyes, as we said earlier. And TalkBack could be that tool. And know that you could use 2 fingers, to lay on the screen to make it shush. And the other thing that I really think is important in knowing is how to turn it on and off. So to go back on a Pixel device, typically you'll press the volume up and volume down keys for 3 to 5 seconds. On a Samsung phone, you typically are pressing your volume up and power button to toggle TalkBack on and off. However, holding down your volume up and volume down together will still and should toggle talkback when you first pull it out of the box. The reason why I say should and could, if you switch some gestures around or settings, around, it may not function exactly how you expect it to. So one thing to do when you get your Samsung phone, for example, go down to accessibility and then go down where it says advanced or your buttons, your phone buttons, so you know what your phone buttons do. Meaning that when you press and hold, let's say volume up and volume down, they do one thing. When you do the volume up and power button, let's say they turn on and off talkback. Why I say the other thing, you have two tools you could use, because you could literally press volume up and down, hold it for 3 to 5 seconds, and have your reader turn on, right? We talked about the Google Reader earlier. So reading mode, So you may want to use your phone with different tools or tool sets. On a Pixel device, you only get one selection, which is volume up and volume down. So when you press the volume up and down, you basically are able to have TalkBack turn on, or you could have color inversion turn on if you need it, but you have to pick from a menu. So there's pros and cons in every situation, but that's just a few ways to know how to turn on and off your tools. So if you're going to use TalkBack, you could turn that on and off. If you're used to color inversion because some of the screens are too bright for your eyes, maybe it helps the screen go into dark mode. So just a few things, but I'll put it back to you guys if you have more questions or thoughts.
This is Scott.
Go ahead, Scott.
Bottom line really is you have to do what's going to work for you and what's going to be the most efficient. There is no magical, perfect solution for everybody that's the same for everybody. Especially those who have low vision, those of us who are totally blind. Each of us has to do what works best for us. And it could be one thing or a combination of things.
Agreed.
And it's just all, that's really what it boils down to. Depends on, you got to look at your own individual situation and see what's gonna work best for you. And continue to come to these calls and get as much feedback and ask as much feedback as you can. Ask as many questions as you can think of. The more you learn, the more it's all part of the process.
Definitely agree with you. Yes, and go ahead, Richard.
Make this real quick with actually what the first gentleman there was talking about, and Quentin. Quentin, thank you for bringing back memories with bringing a phone to my face and struggling there. I had TalkBack on, and I'm bringing the phone to my face, and it's because TalkBack was messing up, and then I am realizing, such as what the gentleman that just spoke, you have to do what works for you. You definitely, yes. However, you might have to adjust as you even go. And combining what Quentin said of bringing a phone to your face and what the first gentleman was just talking about, I realized that, yes, I have to adjust, but I have to readjust, because why is TalkBack messing up? Why is the screen messing up like this? What did it just say? And I'm bringing a phone to my face, like I can
You
see something.
You definitely continuously having to readjust. You mentioned, all y'all mentioned putting the phone close. I put the phone close to my ear now because I got to hear what my screen reader said, or I could be in a noisy train passing by a noisy area. And so, having the proper tools, again, it's about the tools. If you need to hear your screen reader, have some earbuds, have transparency mode. There are apps nowadays also, such as Google Lookout, that is available on Android phones. So it does a lot of cool things where someone sends you a photo. Well, how can you know what and which photo that is? Or you want to extract the text off of it. You're also able to use it for text or document scanning. So I use that often for medication bottles and stuff like that. And as well as recently I came across, it's called, it's Aira, AIRA, Explorer. And if you're familiar with the app Be My Eyes, I know we've brought it up on this call before, and Be My Eyes has this thing called Be My AI. And it does a really, really good job at letting you know a scene description of your room, etc. And so I stumbled upon an article recently where Project Astra, which is Google's thing, I guess if you want to call it that, which is working alongside with Aira. So definitely that they're cool and fascinating tools becoming more and more available, especially on the Android platform. I know the Amazon folks they got so many new devices. We had the Samsung S26 Ultra and the other two models that they typically come out already. And soon in May, we'll have Google I/O, which is their developer conference essentially. So we'll probably get to find out some cool new news there for accessibility, especially with TalkBack or Alexa Speak and other tools like that. So with that, if anyone else has more questions or thoughts, please, I put it back to you all. Amazon lady, what you been up to these days? Oh, excuse me, Miss Ava.
Fighting with my Amazon devices.
I thought you and Ziggy was cool.
Me too. No. I swapped internet, and now I have only two of them that will work, and one of them like to jump off the internet all day long.
I think you should take Brooke's advice and go power cycle everything off the net and put it back.
I did that. It won't
Brooke,
even
any
let
more
me
advice?
do a
Anybody
restart.
else have advice? Miss Ava got some.
I got one stuck on a network that I don't even have no more.
Mm-hmm.
I have none of them. Well, my two shows will not let me do a setup, do the key commands to do the setup, to reset them.
What would those key commands be? Would you know?
Depending on which one you have.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Echo Show 5, and it's supposed to be hold the two volume buttons down. And it just looks at me and laugh. I have the Echo Show 8, and it says hold, I think it was one of the volumes and the mute and the power button, and it keeps telling me it's trying to turn off.
A quick question is, if I remember the Fire Stick, if you want to get voice view, the screen reader on Amazon devices on, is it back and the option button?
It's back in menu.
Menu. Thank you. Yeah, I was like, all these screen readers, you got to remember, again, it's how do you turn them on and off? So if you're using voice view box, or excuse me, a Fire Stick box, Fire TV with that same deal. Foster, how's that little stream thing? How do you use it? How do you like it?
Which screen thing?
The Google Streamer.
Oh, the streamer. Yeah. It works well.
So
it works
is
well.
It not to say fast, but is it fast enough with TalkBack turned on?
I have not attempted to use that. I said I was going to do it.
Okay, homework, sir. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what? Oh, you use it? Who was that?
You used it.
Use it
on the streamer? You guys have a streamer?
I don't have one.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, because the only reason I ask it with TalkBack turned on is just a good test. I mean, we know the Apple TV. I like the 4K version especially. I mean,
oh yeah, that one works well.
I had that through Spectrum, right? And then Spectrum has a Zumo box, which is I think on an Android-like platform. But I don't know. I still prefer Voice View as far as like that platform there. I would say Apple TV, and then Chromecasts weren't terrible, but I just don't know if talkback jitters or because the device I don't think is that jam packed.
I'm gonna try it because especially now, the Google streamer and some of the Google based TVs like what TCL make. They have the Gemini built in, so when you do push the button for what used to be the assistant, Gemini pops up and it'll try to
What
work
will
your
be
carrier.
really interesting is what these companies do, because TCL technically is 51%, whereas Sony is, the other percentage. They just bought a big chunk of Sony out. So, like their camera division and their imaging department kind of thing. So it's going to be interesting what they keep and don't keep with regards to screen readers or bringing more accessibility to some of these devices. Because like earlier we heard about an LG smart oven, and that sounds fascinating too. Because was it Instapot actually is accessible on Android in comparison?
Don't you have one of those, Ava?
Ava. I think Ava's fighting with Ziggy again.
Nope. Yeah, I have one, and it don't like me either. So we all on don't like Ava routine right now.
No.
This is Tiffany. I have a question.
Tiffany, go ahead. Yes, please.
Totally off. Hey, Ava, by the way. But it's totally off subject. I am super duper new to Android. I'm actually going back and forth. But primarily an iPhone user. What is going to be you all's next topic? I came in late for the meeting, but what is going to be your next topic? I want to get to the point where I can teach the Android. I have a client, a veteran, who's just don't want to part from her Android. So I want to be able to provide some sort of assistance to her.
I hear that, Tiffany. Okay.
Well, Tiffany, what we do here is people come up if they have questions, or let's say you want to teach her the swipe gestures.
Okay.
Okay, so you can pose the question and, everybody will chime in on, how to do it and everything. You can always go to our old shows and listen to some things, but with you teaching someone is, you'd have to call me because we can't get into certain stuff, but she is newly blind or has always been?
She's newly blind. She's got pretty decent vision. Ava,
Okay, so she a low vision user.
Yes.
Okay, then you're.
So I want to try and get some help with setting up some of the accessibility features. I just met her today.
Okay, well, since she's a low vision user, you're so she still she still have enough vision to see the screen.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, well then you're on the right call. So that's the question I would pose, because we have I don't know if Cliff is on, but I know I have at least one trainer on here as well, and then we have several low vision users that could give suggestions on what apps to use to start her with and what accessibility settings.
Checkered flag climb the leaderboard. Match fast and race for first place today. Trophy spark.
See?
It's all good.
Previous button. Scroll by swiping up or down with double tap.
Try holding two fingers on that screen. That's all.
Okay. I did. I just learned that, and it's the same as voiceover.
Correct.
Also, someone was talked about the 4-finger double tap for I want to say voiceover help, but
tutorials and helping.
Yeah. So I like the fact that it lays out
sections.
Yes, I really like that.
Because so Tiffany, this is Hershey, by the way, just for the call and audience to know, it is driven by the audience, right? So sometimes we might act like we don't know. We do most of the time know what we're talking about, at least me. But what I'm trying to say is it's how people understand moving from one screen reader thing to low vision. Like for me, it's hard to go backwards to low vision tools right now. I kind of know how select to speak works, but my brain is so used to talkback. So if you're trying to take that person from that point of let's at least get you used to the screen reader piece, so even if you do lose your vision, you have something talking to you. Having at least a know-how, and as you just use your two fingers like voiceover to make it be quiet, because what on voiceover, you know how you have your commands? Well, TalkBack calls it TalkBack gestures. So if you hit like 3-finger tap and go to TalkBack menu, I know I'm going quick, but it's being recorded, you do find that it says TalkBack gestures. So it's just different words. On voiceover,
that's
it's called
3-finger.
So 3-finger tap opens up TalkBack menu. And that menu is kind of a list menu. I'm trying to think of, it's not a rotary menu. Your rotary menu is reading controls and stuff, right? So if you swipe up with 3 fingers, you got characters, words, lines, whatever you put in that, and that's your rotor. Because it's left, right, up, down. You could with 3 fingers. So you already figured out 3-finger tap, TalkBack menu, and you already figured out the other piece of getting around by reading controls. So you've already figured out one way of going through your reading controls, aka rotors. And then the other piece of figuring out the gestures is just what you're assigning things to. So 2-finger double tap is called magic touch or magic gesture on voiceover, but flip it on Android, it does the same thing: play, pause, music, enter, and calls. So they're not very, very different. It's just a way of language sometimes may stumble people on it. And then if you hit 4-finger tap on the screen, that is a scratch pad. So you could go mess around, and in whatever ways your fingers are touching with 3, 4, 2, 1, whatever you're doing, it's going to let you know what that gesture does. So swipe up and right. Oh, that's for blah, blah, blah. Swipe, 2-finger double tap. Oh, that's play, pause, and blah, blah, blah. So it's going to let you know. And just to make things easier for what you understand as a voiceover user, for example, and then translating that talkback conversation there. And that's going to work on a Samsung phone. That's going to work on a Pixel phone, Motorola phone. So it should work pretty much the same. Only downfall is if they have an A series, let's say like a 20-something or a 19-something, they are not as fast of a phone. So TalkBack sometimes will lag here and there.
I experienced that.
Right. So you rather buy or tell anybody that buys a phone at least an A50 or A30 something. So go in the middle of that numbers game kind of thing, because that's your affordable line. Yes. It's cheaper. Yes. And most Motorola, Metro, PCS, all of them, that's what they want to sell you. So just to be careful that you need to think about your accessibility needs. TalkBack does work, but if you put it on a really, really, really old phone like iPhone 7, it's not going to work just like iPhone 7 or 14. They work super differently. So just to give people that imagery of it is affordable, but sometimes, you're just buying because you think it's cheap and it's not going to fit your needs. So find something that fits your needs.
This is Kevin.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Is their vision loss, is it progressive?
That's a good question, Kevin. I'm not sure. I just met her today, so I haven't had time to assess her. So I'll find that out hopefully tomorrow.
Okay, hang on, Kevin. I wanna give y'all a chance to talk and for us to talk with you, Tiffany. But I want to go ahead and end the meeting and let everybody know because we're at the 8:30 hour or time or close
Thank
to
you,
it.
Ava. This is a fun meeting. It's been
Yeah,
fun.
and our next meeting is going to be if you haven't done your taxes, please do them and get them in before our meeting because our meeting is April 15th. So the third Wednesday of April. So I thank y'all for coming. Don't forget African Queen Friday night movie for iBug.